And welcome to Heritage Hall Charger Vision. I'm Brian Gordon along with George Crescent. And we are here to see Tommy Riley's number 3 Heritage Hall Chargers take on the Duncan Demons. And should be a great matchup. Just getting kicked off. Had a really dramatic girls game go on before this. And we are ready for more soccer. George, Tommy's got to have his game ready or team ready for this game. What do you expect he's told him?
Well, I think just looking at this squad from Duncan, you've got some physical size to deal with. I'm not sure how much speed, but I'm going to guess that they've got some guys that are pretty quick. So I think composure and feel it out the first few minutes and get an idea of what Duncan is going to be trying to do.
Coach Riley's going to need a big game from his Fuzzy's Taco Shop feature player of the game, Preston Nelson, senior defender, and I just feel like the defensive line is going to be tested early.
I think so too.
It looks like referees are getting everybody organized and getting everybody ready. Coach Riley's keys to the game, match effort and intensity of Duncan. Definitely want to make sure that we're playing to their level, if not beating their level. Put our chances away, and that was something we saw in the girls' game. The girls had lots of opportunities, just couldn't get the ball in the goal until the very almost last minute. And then lastly, don't give up those soft goals. That defense has got to be resolute. So quickly a throw in for the Demons. Demons are in their all white, working from left to right. Chargers are in their all navy, dark blue, working from the right to the left.
And already you can see that the guys from Duncan have some skill.
Yeah, and I think that anybody who's seen Charger soccer, boys soccer over the past couple of years knows the game plan for the Chargers when you've got the speedy Connor Carey up top.
Absolutely. The question will be how much of the middle of the field we see, because unlike the girls' game we just watched, it looks like Duncan's got a fairly stout middle of the field.
They do. They're certainly sizable, and they're seeming to keep their space pretty well. I think the pace that you'll see of this game is going to be considerably different than what we just saw.
Absolutely.
It's going to be a lot faster. You're going to see a lot more physical game as well. That'll be a throw-in. Definitely getting the ball into play. And here's an opportunity for the Chargers if they can get it up forward. There's Connor Carey on the ball, trying to turn it to the inside, and that'll end up being a corner. And that's as dangerous as Connor can get. If he can get that ball anywhere near the box, then you're always finding yourself right behind him.
Yeah. Yeah, and you don't want to take any chances because any mishits or missteps on the ball is just going to set it on a platter for him.
Yeah, he likes to favor his I guess he favors his left foot over his right. We'll have to see. I forget which one it is, but he definitely is not afraid of taking a shot. So a corner kick for the Chargers. See if they can get it into the box.
That's a good
ball.
solid
That's
goal.
That's in. So the Chargers early on with the goal coming, and that was
Will White, I think, wasn't it? Or was it someone else?
Number 25. We're going to say it's Jack Griffin on that ball.
There was a mini scrum.
Yeah, there was a few people, and they may have come off a couple of people to get into that ball.
And I'm not, and I wouldn't use the word shot on goal as much as somebody got hit with that corner kick.
Yeah, actually, I think it may have been the feature player Preston Nelson. I think that's exactly what happened. Is a low-driven ball went in, and I think it just basically hit him, and his momentum put it into the goal. Which, as you've always said, that goal counts as any other goal.
It sure does. And jumping out to a lead early is obviously always a great idea.
Yeah, so early within just the first couple of minutes of the game, the Chargers go up 1-0 over Duncan. Looks like we're getting a little bit of a net repair. That's what the pause in the game is. Don't want that ball sneaking through.
And that was a quick counter. I mean, it looked like initially Duncan may boss the middle of the field, and next thing you know, they have a turnover, they give us a corner, and that's in the back of the net.
Yeah, now you got to think Duncan's going to be a little bit recharged on this. They're probably shocked a little bit, but they know that was kind of a lucky goal in some sense, and so I expect to see Duncan putting a little bit more organized effort together, because they looked dangerous right off the first couple of seconds.
They sure did. I mean, they definitely have skill and pace and size. So I don't know that 1-0's the final score here. So
yeah, there's Carey.
But there's a turnover again, and then you've got Connor, and then he gets fouled.
And he gets fouled outside the box, and so that is another dangerous ball for the Duncan team. And we've seen where this can lead just even 10 or 15 minutes ago.
Yeah, this is definitely a dangerous situation for the keeper. And, it's not necessarily a lack of discipline. I think that sort of pace forces you into some clumsiness. I would just say it's clumsy what happened to Duncan. I don't think it was anything else, but when somebody's moving that quick, your foot oftentimes isn't where you want it to be because you can't get it there in time.
Looks like Parker Kays is going to take the honors of the kick. Wisely chose to have the measure taken out and back the wall up. Again, no shaving cream, so we don't get to see where the wall is. Low driven ball. Great save by the keeper, but he didn't.
And
he
then
bobbled
Connor
it.
Carey with the goal.
And then Connor Carey to follow up, and the Chargers are just pouncing on the Demons right now.
And this is the most painful sort of situation for Duncan because they've made 2 mistakes and paid with 2 goals.
Yeah.
And it's not really that often that happens at the high school level. You can usually get away with some mistakes here and there, but they have been brutally punished for both of their mistakes.
And 2 goals is now they've dug themselves into a hole within the first 4 minutes or 5 minutes of the game, and it is going to be a task for them to get out of this.
Yeah.
And you can see the pressure that the Chargers are just putting on their back line. Again, another shot, another bobble by the keeper. The Chargers are smelling blood.
Yeah, and that keeper better get on his rebounds a little quicker or he's going to give up another one.
Yeah, he's
going to take a boot to the face.
That's what's going to happen is that he's going to get a foot to the face.
Yeah, this is a fantastic start. I would say on a day when Barcelona and Villarreal tied 4-4, we could see some scoring like that.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, I think the Demons just have to take a breath, okay, and say, all right, let's just start over, see if we can start mounting some control and get out of our end of the field.
Yeah, they have been absolutely ambushed here in the first, 10 minutes, not even?
Not even. First 5 minutes. We're hitting the 5-minute mark in 24 seconds. So, yeah the Chargers are just going for the throat right early. High defense for the Chargers. You got to wonder what the speed for the Demons looks like if they can get behind our back line. It's like Parker Kays on that ball, trying to get it forward.
That's a nice move through the legs, but
Zach
cleared.
Culver on that ball. Definitely a much faster pace, and the Chargers are organized. That is for sure. So Connor Carey's up top along with number 4 Cole Allen. Didn't really get to go through the lineup, so we'll have to pick them out as we go. That's Shelton on the back end. I know Shelton very well. Again, battle on this outside. A lot of energy on the field from the Chargers. Tommy Riley definitely had him ready to play.
Yes, he did.
Tommy Riley in his 18th season as head coach for the Chargers, coming in with a 180-90-4 record.
That's not too shabby.
Yeah, so
that's Barry Switzer-esque.
Yeah, so basically Tommy's coached a few games.
And I think you got the answer there to the speed. And I'll tell you, I don't know how many times anybody will want to run into number 22 for Duncan.
Mm-mm. He looks stout.
He looks like he might be their defensive end.
Yeah, I think so. We'll have to watch him, and he's got some wheels on him. The keeper was a little hesitant coming out, and so I think he made a lot closer play than he should have.
But I have a pretty good idea of why he was hesitant. I would be hesitant as well.
Yeah, I'll let my defender handle that guy.
Exactly.
I'll wait for the shot.
And 2's live. And 1's live.
Throw in for the Chargers. Chargers forward, definitely looking to make it into that box one more time. Throwing Parker up there in the middle.
There's definitely some trouble with Duncan on in terms of clearing the ball. They're not really clearing it. There is a foul on Connor Carey, and he really should not be shocked at all.
You know, maybe he just doesn't know he's running into people.
Well, starting in the fall, he'll have plenty of opportunity to do that maneuver.
He's going to
Air Force Academy.
That's right.
Yeah, unbelievable honor for him and his family to get to attend the Air Force Academy and play football. But just to attend the Air Force Academy is an amazing feat.
A little bit of an opportunity for Duncan. They've got our defense on their heels. So Duncan has the ball in they're attacking third, bringing numbers up, see if they can claw into this deficit that they've built in the first couple of minutes.
Boy, that is a nice throw. That is a nice throw.
Yeah, that is a dangerous throw. Might as well be a corner kick.
Yeah, that had plenty of pace.
Chargers looking to control the ball. Trying to get it up forward.
And the Chargers, although they look smaller, they're pretty tough on the ball.
They're quite athletic.
Mm-hmm.
Tough fall for the number 8 for the Duncan Demon. Kelvin Maldonado. Sorry, Kevin, if I butchered your name. So a free kick for Duncan. And call it about 30 yards out, 35 yards out. So
Now
we'll see.
this, if it gets on frame, will be very impressive because this is ambitious if he goes directly.
Right into the wall. Now can the Chargers get out? Not a very good follow through, and this is where the counterattack is so dangerous. You've got Connor up there.
That's a good piece of skill there by the Duncan midfielder, number 17.
Duncan trying to feed the ball into the center. They've got some players in the center. If they can get it in, that'll end up being the goal kick for the Chargers. So 10 minutes passed in the first half of the Heritage Hall Duncan game. Chargers pounce on the Duncan Demons. 2-0 quick goals by Preston Nelson, and really just got on top of the Demons early. Demons are having to fight back,
And Connor Carey showing why he got his goal and showing why he might not be done tonight.
Do you think that everybody else is just in slow motion when he runs?
It seems like it. And what's really frightening is that he's the second best soccer player in his family.
That is true.
So he's got a little of the Reggie Miller syndrome, right? When Cheryl Miller is actually the best basketball player in the family.
Yeah, his sister is definitely a baller. That is for sure.
Yeah, but yeah, he's got another gear.
And I don't even think we've seen it yet. So yeah, he's got some speed, and the Chargers have relied on that for quite some time, and it's paid off for them. Chargers have made playoff runs in the past couple of years.
Yeah,
just barely missed it last year.
Well. And I remember, some of this is payback for Connor because he missed a breakaway against Duncan. I can't remember if it was just a regular season game or a playoff game, but I know he feels pretty good to have put one in the back of the net.
Yeah, and that would be, let's see, his 9th goal of the season as well. So he is adding to his goal tally. That one goes out, so that'll end up being a goal kick for the Chargers. So a lot of hectic kicking play, not really organized passing that you would like to see at a boys level.
No, not so far.
And maybe that's, they're playing to the strengths of their own teams. I haven't found the Connor Carey yet of the Duncan team. This, number 22 on this side is a big boy, but I don't know that he's got Connor speed.
No, he doesn't have that speed. He doesn't have that speed. But he does have enough speed to make it a very painful collision.
Momentum ends up being a big
Yeah,
factor.
yeah, he may have the mass advantage.
So I think the hectic start's got both of the teams kind of on edge. I'd like to see the Charger boys settle down a little bit, start playing through the middle a little bit more, utilize their midfielders, their defensive mid.
Yeah, it's really a strange situation because, and it's hard to describe, but if you look at the Duncan team, they look the part.
Uh-huh.
They look like they should be really, really good. And I'm not saying they're not. It's just a strange situation because here's another opportunity.
Somehow got knocked out. That was a point-blank shot. I think he just tried to flick it on and didn't have enough on it.
But you have to be wondering what is going on with Duncan's back line. Is the goalie not talking to them? I don't know how you leave balls laying around right in front of your keeper like that.
Yeah.
Someone has to put a foot through that.
Well, and the Chargers have already shown that they're going to go through you in order to get to the ball, so you've got to be strong-footed and not give that inch.
Absolutely.
So the Chargers looking to add to their lead, put Duncan in a deeper hole. Duncan's just trying to get it on the board, see if they can cut into the Charger lead in any way. But definitely a hectic pace to the game itself.
Yeah.
Throwing for the Chargers. Do want to say thank you to Quail Creek Bank for supporting us again this year. It's your connection to better banking. QuailCreek.bank, member FDIC. Connor Carey on that outside. Still has opportunities.
A turnover by Duncan in a bad spot once again.
And there's
Shot,
a
bad
crazy ball,
deflection. Oh, my goodness.
I don't know. The VAR.
What a great save.
That was an off balance. He was moving the wrong direction and was able to swing his arm out and punch that out. But I'm not sold on the fact that hadn't just about crossed the line.
Yeah, that was a bad deflection and unlucky for Duncan. And you hope that that's not the save that turns this thing around for Duncan. And where 3-0 would have been, almost game, set, match.
Okay.
And there's a throw that almost makes it in.
That was a top corner throw, and at that point, it doesn't count if it goes in. So as a keeper, you don't want to necessarily let something in the goal, but it's a lot better than it dropping, you swiping at it and dropping in right in front of the box.
Exactly.
So.
And in spite of what seems to be a size advantage for Duncan, it's Heritage Hall that's initiating the contact.
They're being much, much more physical. They're taking it really to them and playing through the players rather than playing a finesse game. Getting Connor Carey turning. He's attracting defenders on him. He's got 3 right around.
He's got a crowd, which means somebody's open.
Yeah. Cooper looking to play long. Ball dropping in. And that's just again one of those weird shots. But the keeper hadn't. He made that great save, but for balls on target, he really hadn't proven himself too much.
No, he's been a little shaky. That save was easily his best moment.
And that was just a gut reaction. Chargers got a little bit of space now. Parker Cage with the ball. Probably should have gotten rid of it a little bit earlier than that. Ended up having his pocket picked. Now can the Chargers bring it down? Zach Colbert's junior forward, number 10. He's been active up there as well.
Now we got an opportunity here for Duncan, but
Shelton
good
doing
play.
The Shelton back heel. And that one ends up going out of bounds. Throw in for Duncan, see if they can get something in the box. That's something that we've seen so far. These throw-ins are getting in there. Another one that's
That's a really deep throw for a high school game, and a pretty ambitious effort there.
I got goalie.
So are they doing something different to get the throw in, or I mean, there seems to be a significant amount of spin on it that you don't necessarily see in a throw in.
Yeah, it's just amazing how he's just able to generate the power from his core to send it 40 yards down the field.
I mean, at this point, you'd almost rather have a throw in than a corner kick.
Yeah,
You'd
I mean,
have
it's
much more accuracy.
Plus,
You get the
yeah,
same
it was
place.
accurate. Yeah, it was very accurate.
Cooper Shelton on the throw in himself. Into Connor Carey. Cole Allen trying to get the ball. And does he earn a corner kick out of it? Nope. Looks like it'll end up being a
Goal kick.
goal kick.
Three's left. And one.
That one's just going to drift out. So Charger Vision would like to give a thank you to Venue Catering for their continued support. They take amazing care of our students every day at lunch and serve the state's best gourmet concessions. So make sure you stop by and get some concessions when you're out here. See if we can control the ball a little bit in the middle. It seems to be closing us down very, very quickly, and the touch is a little bit off. But otherwise, the Chargers are playing pretty soundly across the board.
Yeah, and we're at least disruptive. You know, we haven't put together a ton of meaningful possession, but we're definitely disrupting Duncan, right? When it looks like they're about to string together a few passes, we're in their lanes.
Well, and when you have a 2-0 lead, you don't necessarily have to be as deliberate as you would if the ball was or the game was a little bit closer.
But as I think we'll see, you know, probably one of the best defenses for Heritage Hall is to have Connor Carey running with the ball on the other side of the field.
Yep. Dangerous opportunity for the Demons. Able to get around that outside, and then when he crossed it in the center, it was just cleared out. They're going wide on us, trying to get around the back of our defenders. Their forwards aren't really pressing up, though, to take those opportunities and hit those gaps.
Yeah, I'm not totally sure that the Duncan forwards are going to be a big threat in the air. I think both these guys look like they want to shoot.
Which is interesting because they've got such a dangerous throw-in game.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, those aerial balls.
And that right there could have potentially been dangerous.
Yeah, I mean, that's exactly what you want to happen. Toss that ball into the center, see if you can get it to bounce off somebody's head right in front of the goal and have one of your guys there to just tap it in. Both of the Charger goals have come off of free balls in the center, right outside the goal itself.
Yeah, on this side of the field, it would not be a great idea for them to test, a potential turnover. They've already paid for it twice.
Mm-hmm.
So if they were gonna play around, they may want to switch fields.
So throw in for the Demons. Looks like they'll see if they can mount an opportunity. Again, another throw. Might as well be a corner kick into the box. Keeper's got to be ready for this one.
The keeper has to know this thing is going to make it all the way to him.
Mm-hmm. And a little bit different, and it may have served its purpose. A little bit different throw, a shorter kind of into the mass throw, and it fell right where the Duncan guy needed it to fall. Got a shot off, but it wasn't a very good one. And then Connor Carey is just going to take it and create some space. Can they play the ball, get the ball back to him? A little bit of elbow music from the defender. And
I got him.
referee's going to give a couple of commands to everybody. Make sure that everybody's playing smart and fair.
Actually, out of 2. Sammy shot 3. Get the ref.
Preston Nelson on the ball. Strong kick got in.
And one's left.
That was an unlucky first touch.
Yeah, the touch is letting everybody tend to be down. And again, bodies just going everywhere. The Chargers are just not afraid to go through somebody in order to get to that ball. Take the ball with you. There you go. Keeper Shelton looking for Connor Carey on the far side. Got deflected. Now it's a counterattack by the Demons. Can the Demon forward keep up with the defenders? Demons end up with the ball. Got it to their midfield. You feel like that guy could, if he can get his foot on it, he'd just crack it.
Yeah, and he exerted his will there on our defender.
That'll be that is going to be a battle I think we're going to see for the rest of the evening too, because Preston Nelson's not going to really take that very long. So again, another throw in from the side to the center of the box. Driven ball, keeper comes out, ball deflected out.
And that was a shot that
Went
if you
around
can-
the world.
if you can make that, there is a spot for you on the U.S. men's national team.
So ambitious is probably not saying a little lightly, huh?
Yeah. Yeah, speculative might be a better term.
Yeah, I did too. So, 2 live.
So throw in for Shelton. Chargers up 2-0 on the Duncan Demons with 17 minutes left in the first half. I'm Brian Gordon along with George Crescent. We are on Charger Vision on a gorgeous evening for soccer. All sorts of fun things going on at Heritage Hall. Baseball is going on. Tennis was playing earlier. I believe tennis came out with a couple of wins. So very active night at Heritage Hall from sports standpoint, and the Charger boys are looking to make it a great night for themselves.
Good idea on trying to cross it. Just couldn't quite get it.
Well, that's the value of having a left-footed player on your team. If you can find one, you put him on that left wing, he can cause all sorts of havoc.
Oh.
The girls know that with Elena Wilson on that left side.
That was a pretty good cross by Duncan. And that would have been something else. If it would have been a couple yards further ahead, it would have been interesting to see who would have really gotten to that.
Yep. And Duncan's got the pieces, and you can tell that they're thinking the right thing. It's just the execution is not there.
Yeah. Well, and again, they have paid in blood for 2 mistakes.
Yeah.
I mean, how many times have we seen people make mistakes and it's not in the back of the net?
Many mistakes.
Mm-hmm. So here's another atomic throw-in by the Duncan captain.
Yeah. So that goes wide, ends up being a goal kick for the Chargers. Chargers going to slow it down just a little bit. They've got decent win behind their back. It's not a great win now. I think it was a little bit stronger in the girls' game.
Yeah.
Died since the sun's gone down. Now here's something if the Chargers can get the ball forward. Little bit heavy on that, but you want to make sure that keeper picks it up cleanly.
Well, and you want to make sure that that center back pairing has something to think about.
Mm-hmm. Those plays right there will open up the wings a lot. That was a little bit ambitious, I think.
Yeah, I think he didn't quite get around on it like he wanted. That for sure is a handball. When I can even see it, it's pretty clear.
It's a level. It's left to interpretation, isn't it?
I think sometimes you can leave it to interpretation.
My mom would have said, "It never hit his hand. Why is it a handball?"
Yeah, exactly. That's
know?
true. That's true.
Short driven ball. I think Duncan was hoping that was going to be a little bit loftier than it was, just because they had everybody at the 18. So they've done a good job. I think they figured out Connor, put that big guy on Connor and number 22, and make Connor get around him.
Well, make him go one way or the other to where the help is, but they're definitely not letting Connor have a one-on-one opportunity. And I would not be shocked if the plan is to foul when needed to stop the play.
Well, and you got to make sure you're doing that well outside the box, because the thing about Connor is he can get in that box very quickly.
Yes, he can.
This could be trouble if he can get on the back of it. Wasn't able to really connect. Chargers able to start clearing it out. Not out of danger quite yet. Still trouble. Oh. And Referee's going to let that one play. That was a close
That was
call there.
That was a little worrisome.
Maybe he got enough of the ball to make it count, but interesting no call there.
Yeah, because it looked like there was legitimate contact. It didn't look like James Harden was playing forward for Duncan. I think we may have seen that in the girls' game in the second extra time.
Deep throw into the box, cleared out by the Chargers, but now Duncan's had a little bit of space. His touch gave him away. And that's going to be a foul on Duncan. They're going to look to quick play, see if they can get Connor behind the defense. And then there was a handball call there, or another elbow call. I guess if you set the precedent in calling that elbow hit early, you've got to be consistent on it, and it pays forward for the Chargers themselves.
Interesting. Yeah, I mean, whether your refereeing is good or dodgy, you just want to be consistent.
Yep. I mean, that's
so
all
if it's going to be horrible, just let it be horrible for both sides.
Yep. So here, just about 18, let's call it 24 yards out, top corner.
It's I mean, the interesting thing about the position here is that the goalkeeper, unfortunately for Duncan, has to consider both sides.
Yep.
It's really in a position where either side could be a target.
Oh, and that almost worked. Can they get
and
in?
there is another goal.
No,
unless offsides.
So.
And he may have been.
Yeah, they were playing that high line, and the keeper is unhappy that even went through, but they made the right call. The Chargers put it across the face, made the keeper make a save, which, of course, he had bobbled like he has in the past few of them.
But the keeper's hands are questionable.
Yeah.
He's not really getting anything clean.
He's got to be much more confident on the way that he's fielding those balls right now, and that's right now it's letting him down. Chargers almost come up with the third goal of the game, and
I mean, I think as the referees giving an explanation to the Duncan coaching staff, I think if you're Heritage Hall, you have to be thinking just shoot from anywhere.
Yeah, make the keeper
and make sure you're there for the rebound, because this guy hasn't caught one yet clean.
So the Duncan coach questioning something. I'm not sure. I mean, the call was in their favor. I mean, don't know what he's questioning. Or maybe he's just I don't know what he's doing.
I mean, it's a curious time to go crazy on the ref when you've gotten the call.
Exactly. So Duncan getting into now something else going on.
Now we have some.
And so the referees starting to come off the rails a little bit here, I think.
I'm not really sure what he's so particular about. Whether the ball wasn't played out of the box entirely. But it almost looks like he's.
The ball has to, yeah. I mean, but if it's an offsides kick, it doesn't have to come out.
That's what I thought too. I don't know what is going on here.
A lot of discussions in this one for the referee trying to clear up a rule of some sort.
I mean, for remaining anonymous for virtually all of the girls' game, he's very much at the forefront of this one.
So, looks like it's, again, a free kick based off of and another conversation between the coach.
Maybe he's hoping that if he has enough conversations that the Heritage Hall boys will freeze up.
Maybe so.
And pull a hamstring or something.
This is an icing tactic by the other coach.
Yeah, except that it's really a beautiful night. I'm pretty sure if the Heritage Hall boys stand there all night, they're not going to be frozen at any bar.
Yeah. All right, so now we're back in play.
We think this is a good kick.
Yeah.
We've yet to be told otherwise by the ref.
He's going to start letting things play now. That's good.
This could potentially be a problem.
If thinking that. Ooh,
Ooh, that is
that's dangerous there, and that's going to be just outside the box as well.
that was about one step away from a PK.
3 against 1 for us. 12
So,
blue, 12 blue.
dangerous situation for the Chargers. Free kicks at both ends, right outside the
Yeah.
box. And this could almost paid off for the Chargers. See what the Demons are able to put together.
Yeah, this angle is tough. It's going to be tough on the Duncan player, but the Heritage Hall keeper hasn't been tested yet, so you might as well try to put it in on his hands and see what happens.
Yep. Make sure you follow up on this one and be ready for anything that dribbles out.
2 came down a little bit. Yeah, I'm gonna.
So Duncan's number 17, who is Raphael.
That near post is looking pretty open.
Yeah, and that's
Ooh.
exactly where he was going.
I could, it looked like the wall was not exactly in
Well
an optimal position.
Yep. You saw the same thing he did. He almost got it. So Chargers dodge a bullet there. Up 2-0 with 9 minutes left in the first half against the Duncan Demons. Chargers came out and pounced on the Demons early. Able to get 2 goals in, one from Connor Carey, one from Preston Nelson, and now it's just really been a back and forth game. No one's really established a dominance outside of that first 3 or 4 minutes.
No, it's been a little helter-skelter between all the collisions and all of the stoppages in play. Nobody's really gotten any sustained possession.
Yeah, and with all the stoppages, I mean, you can't build a rhythm. It's difficult for a team who's trying to build or retake a lead or build back into a game. And all of a sudden now you just don't have that momentum. Where every time you start building a momentum, there's a conversation with the coach and the referee.
Right.
So throw in for the Chargers. Jagger Abels with the ball.
And 1.
That's a cool name, Jagger.
That's right. You better be able to play with a name like that.
That's right.
And 3 left.
Or at least be able to dance.
Exactly. Yeah, one or the other.
One of the two. Play in the center. Shelton on the right. He's just going to play it up top. Looks like Capel Spence had come subbed in. He's on this near side.
2 left. And 1.
Duncan looking at the switch field. He's going to get intercepted, and this is trouble if he can get around his defender. Connor's up right there. And that'll end up being a corner kick for the Chargers.
I'll tell you what, that matchup between number 22 and Connor is something else.
I think we've probably seen it before. One was a linebacker and one was a
Yeah,
quarterback.
yeah. I mean, this is the only thing that would make this better is if we knew that 22 kid was going to the Naval Academy or West Point.
Falling right to the kick.
Ball into the box. Good, well driven
That is
ball. That's a great ball.
Just barely flicked wide. But Duncan is, I don't know what they're doing on the near post, but that's coming inside the 6, and nobody's touching it in white. The keeper, nobody.
Yeah.
So I guarantee you, if Heritage Hall gets another 5 or 6 of those, 1 or 2 is going to be in the back of the net just by bouncing off somebody.
Exactly. Hitting a shoulder, and it doesn't even have to be a player in blue. It can hit off a player in white shoulder and go in the back post.
Yeah, it is. I mean, I don't know what is going on those plays for Duncan, but they need to be really careful.
Just not organized. Whether it's ball watching or they're more worried about the people who are crashing in.
Yeah, I mean those things. I mean you're the goalie, but if it's inside the 6, the keeper's got to take control of that.
Yeah.
You got to punch that out.
It's got to be aggressive and got to be able to get to that ball. And that was a foul off of the run by the Demon. So Jagger does a great job of staying it up.
And Duncan's going to feel that they've been hard done by that call.
Yeah. Well, I mean, and the question is whether it gets shoulder to shoulder or not. But you look at a little bit of the physicality that some of these players play when they play, competitive soccer or more elite soccer, and then how that translates. This dangerous. Can the keeper save it? No, that'll end up being a corner.
That's going to be a corner, which might be another goal.
But how that translates on a field here, where you're playing against players who aren't used to that level of contact, right?
Yeah, it's true.
And then how do you ref around that? Because you want to keep everybody safe. You want to keep everybody healthy, but you want to allow players to play to the potential that they can.
Well, and they're just the Duncan players are not undersized, but they're just not using their size.
Right.
They're not throwing their entire weight. Except for right there.
Except for right there.
Out of bounds.
When you build that momentum.
So we'll see if we can match throw-in for throw-in here. See if Heritage Hall can generate the same kind of distance on their throws.
Preston's got some pretty good distance on his.
Yeah, that's an excellent throw. And that's going to –
over the keeper's head. If somebody can get on this ball.
Now, that's the first time I've seen a Duncan player actually
go for that,
hit the ball and push it out.
Yep. Parker Kay is trying to volley that shot. Maybe a little bit ambitious because he was having to swivel his hips, but good attempt otherwise. Back on the ball again. And again, the Chargers now pressing in. He's in the box. Don't think he's going to earn that one.
No.
End up being a corner kick again.
But they're going to need to be careful because that's half a step away from just being a clumsy challenge, which is a penalty.
Yeah.
Clumsy or not.
Well, and you always find yourself on the back end of Connor. I mean, he's so fast that when you may be shoulder to shoulder with him for a second, and then when you get ready to put your shoulder into him, he's already passed you. Now it's a foul from behind.
Absolutely.
Low driven ball. Tried to get something to flick on. Didn't really work out for him, though. So 3 minutes left in the first half. 2-0 Chargers over the Duncan Demons. Early flurry by the Chargers to get a couple goals on the board, and then just really kind of back and forth ping-pongy soccer. Both teams have had opportunities. Both teams have had free kicks just outside the box, neither of which have anybody been able to capitalize on. And again, you see just back and forth. And this could be trouble if the keeper's careful about coming out.
And unfortunately, is he going to call a PK there?
No, I think he's going to let it play. There was a foul back here about the just on the inside of the midline, but he was going to allow play to go on.
Well, and and the Duncan player unfortunately lost the ball there a little bit, and so that would have been very, very harsh if it would have been called.
Deep throw. Keeper's got to be on it, and he almost bobbles it. And looks like he ends up coming up with it. Safe and sound. Clears that one out, and that's just going to go out of bounds. Coach Riley with the the settle of the ball.
Looking pretty relaxed.
Yeah. Well, I mean, how relaxed are you with the 2-0 lead going into halftime?
They don't call it the worst lead in soccer for no reason. So it's – yeah, you should never feel great at 2-0.
Especially with the opportunity, ball dropping in front of number 7 and him taking a shot.
And he hit that. That had some pace.
Yeah, I think he was slicing a little bit more than he wanted to.
Yeah.
But yeah, he got his foot on it.
Yeah, Alex Barrientos.
Yeah, I was going to say, I'm not going to try that last name. 1 minute left in the half. See if the Chargers can add a third, or maybe the Demons can bring it a little bit closer to even. Cooper's going to allow that one to roll out. Maybe take his time. See if the teams can get into halftime and regroup. And a no. So Chargers will, I think Tommy Riley's probably happy. I mean, you have to be happy with the 2-0 lead and the way he's played. I would think he probably would have preferred a little bit more organized for the remainder of the game after those first 2 goals. But you're sitting in a decent spot.
Yeah, and really, they just need to be careful with the opening 5 to 10 minutes of the second half, because if Duncan can get to 2-1, then this game is totally changed.
Mm-hmm. Well, do you think obviously the Duncan coach has had time to kind of figure out what our weaknesses are, what they can capitalize on. Now he's going to have an opportunity to build a strategy around that.
Yeah, it's going to be a matter of adjustments, but this is going to be an area where Heritage Hall probably has an advantage when you've got somebody with the success Tommy's had over 18 years.
Yep. And that'll take us to halftime. We'll break for some commercials and then come back and talk about the first half.
No car does style, performance, and comfort like a new Lincoln. Drive home yours today from Cooper Lincoln of Edmond. With our incredible lease offers, luxury has never been more in reach. Like the sublime 2018 Lincoln MKX, just $569 a month for 36 months. Or the exhilarating 2018 Continental for only $649 a month for 36 months. Both now with zero down payment. That's just what you'll expect from Cooper Lincoln of Edmond on 616 West Memorial Road.
When you walk into Fuzzy's Taco Shop, you'll know you're in the right place. With the best Baja-style menu in town, we'll have the whole family addicted.
Order up.
Nachos, tacos, burritos, it doesn't matter. It's like an explosion of flavor in your mouth. We know you've had a long day, and you deserve a break. So, bring the crew to one of the Fuzzy's Taco Shop locations in Norman, Oklahoma City, or Stillwater. Welcome to your new addiction. Eat.
Since 2014, our fans have been the backbone of the club. Fans keep supporting us on the field, in the community, and are the driving force of our success. Our fans create an exciting atmosphere that drives charisma, excellence, and passion. Energy fans, we thank you and welcome you to year number 5.
We're changing healthcare and our name. Now we are SSM Health St. Anthony. But who we are on the inside is still the same. A community of saints in action who have always been a part of SSM Health, making healthcare more accessible, when and where you need it. SSM Health St. Anthony. We are Saints in Action.
And welcome back to Heritage Hall Charger Vision. You are here to see the Heritage Hall Chargers take on the Duncan Demons. I'm Brian Gordon along with George Crescent. George, a 2-0 lead right off the bat for the Chargers, and the Chargers put their foot on the throat of the Demons.
They sure did. I mean, looking at these keys to victory, it looks like they're all fairly covered. The energy level was definitely there to exercise the Demons. The chances got put away, and they got soft goals. They did not give up soft goals.
Yeah, the two goals from the first half. First goal within the first 2 minutes. Preston Nelson coming in and almost just bodying the ball in off of a corner kick, a driven corner kick. May have gone off his shoulder, may have gone off his chest. We're not sure what it hit, but went in, and the Demons were shocked. And then not long after that, maybe a minute after that, Connor Carey comes in.
Yeah, quick counterattack. Goalie doesn't get the ball clean, and Connor puts it away on the rebound, which is going to happen all night if he continues to give up those kind of rebounds.
Yeah, the goalie made an incredible save to keep a third goal out of off the scoreboard for the Chargers. Was able to palm it out after getting his momentum heading the other direction. The Duncan Demons had a few opportunities, a penalty outside the box, had the ball fall in the box a couple of times, but the Charger defense has really kind of held firm when it came to the Demons. No one's really outpacing them. They're trying to get around the edge, and Charger defense isn't falling for it.
Yeah, that's true. The only way I think that Duncan gets into this game is a quick, opportunistic goal off of a set piece. So I think Heritage Hall has to be careful with fouls around the box, and then they also have to be keenly aware of the fact that these throw-ins are coming from 40 yards out. So you just have to, stay aware and just don't, clear the box. Don't do what they're doing, which is letting the ball just come right across the face of the goal untouched.
Yep.
So, I think if they remain stout and disciplined at the back, I think as the first 5 to 10 minutes goes by, if it's still 2-0, then I think at some point there's frustration.
Yeah, absolutely. And Coach Riley, going in halftime, what do you think he tells the team?
I think he says keep doing what you're doing and just beware that there's going to be a potential flurry of action in the first 5 to 10 minutes to try to get that goal that then makes this thing 2-1 and basically anyone's game at that point.
Yep. What do you tell them from a Duncan standpoint?
I think you just tell them to keep playing the way they finished the first half, and they also need to be aware of the fact that in the first 5 to 10 minutes they coughed up a couple balls, got their pockets picked, and gave it up. So they also have to stay disciplined at the back.
Yeah, I mean, you feel like that his message may be, you guys, you got down early, calm down, let's see if we can just struggle back into it or claw our way back into it. First thing to do is get on the board.
I think the other thing he might be doing is trying to find some of that Lester Hayes stickum for his goalie's gloves, because really the lack of clean possession of shots and just coughing up these balls in front is going to be a problem. It already has been a problem, and it could continue to be a problem.
Yeah, you definitely don't want to give the Chargers any more opportunities beyond even the initial shot to get that ball in, because the Chargers are pouncing. They are challenging everything in the box, and they're looking for that drop.
Definitely.
So the teams are taking the field. This time the Duncan will have what's left of the wind for the evening. It looks like it's calming down even more than it did in the girls' game. And then they will be in their all-white, working from your right to your left. The Chargers will be in their all-navy blue, working from the left to the right. Charger keeper in a god-awful neon green jersey. We'll have to talk to Coach Riley, see if he can increase the soccer budget.
We're going to need, if he needs to have a bake sale or something, then we might have to get something going.
Yeah, so should be a fun second half for the Chargers. Chargers really want to come away with a win in this one. This is an important game, a second district game. Already have one win in district with a 9-0 win against Altus. But they've struggled this first half of the season. They had a 4-0 win against Bethany, which I love. But then Classen SAS comes out and beats them 3-2, which Classen is a team. It's a small school. And we'll give it 1 second, see how this pans out. Looks like a header from Connor Carey. But Classen's a small school, but they seem to always have Heritage Hall's number. And it's amazing throughout the years, even some of the best teams that we've had in the school history has sometimes struggled with Classen SAS.
Yeah, sometimes it's just it's matchups. It might be familiarity. It's weird. It's like that in sports. There's some teams just have other people's numbers.
They did have a second loss to Medill, a 3-2 number. But the good news out of that is both their losses, they were in the game. It wasn't a blowout of any sort. So Chargers have a strong team. They can certainly do some things this season. Just got to stay organized and use their weapons. It's like a long kick, a dribble by the keeper, and the keeper was lucky to get back on it because there was a Duncan player ready for him to drop it there. That's one thing we're seeing for Duncan is that when they strike that ball, they're putting some power behind it.
Yeah, that's part of the mystery of this game so far has just been you look at the Duncan team and you think, how are they down 2-0? How are they not able to get something going? They individually have good foot skills. They're they are sort of putting together more passes, but they don't have that same kind of deadly finishing touch that Heritage Hall has.
Yeah, they're relying on a certain level of power and they're losing the ball late. So they're picking on the wings a lot, trying to get that cross, and I don't know that that's the game that they are really good at.
Yeah. You know, it would be interesting for Tommy, and again, I'm not going to start trying to tell people that have won 1 million games as a head coach, but it would be interesting to see, since they're obviously putting 22 on Connor and then having a additional defender. It'd be kind of interesting to see what would happen if Connor dropped back a little bit and got lost and then was able to make runs instead of posting up so much.
Yeah, so where he would he kind of get lost in the crowd, and then all of a sudden he's open.
Yeah, because I think the more he just stays there, the more that guy can cover him because he's physically got the size to bang into him and to cover him. But if he drops back 20 yards or so and then can make a run, and he's running on the ball full speed, I don't think it's going to be an even race.
Yeah, well, and you know the guy is so broad to make to get you to get around him is going to be a challenge for Connor, I think, and I think that's part of the strategy.
Yeah, so you just wonder what would happen if he could just somehow find a way to shake him, just shake him for a few seconds.
All right, Duncan trying to organize the ball, getting in behind the Charger defense. Chargers have a pretty good flat line, and they will look for one of those deep, long throw-ins. Chargers dropping into their box.
So that's good. Good solid header to try to clear.
Duncan's not done, though.
No, they're starting to apply a little bit of pressure.
Yeah, I think maybe some of the coaching from their at halftime by their coach was, let's get it served into the center, see what we can do, create some opportunities. This could be trouble if you can get under the just too much on it. I was thinking he was going to try to float it to the back corner. And
that was a great idea. I
Yeah.
mean, just a little too heavy, but that was a great idea.
So goal kick for the Chargers. Just inside 5 minutes past the halftime in the second half of the game. Chargers up 2-0 against Duncan. 2 early goals.
Yeah, and I'll tell you, there's something that's, they've weathered sort of the first few minutes, and you're starting to see a higher line by Duncan, and they're starting to put some pressure. I don't want to say there's been any sort of momentum switch, but they're starting to put a little more pressure on Heritage Hall. They're not really waiting to react.
Well, it seems like Heritage Hall is starting to pack the back a little bit more.
And then this is what you don't want.
Yeah, the one-on-one.
If you're them.
Yeah, if you're them. You want us to make Connor run as much as you possibly can.
Yeah. Yeah, because I think you can like number 22's chances in a 0-20, 0-30 maybe situation, but if Connor's going to start a midfield with you, then you're going to get lost at some point.
Right.
And that's the penalty you pay for high lines.
You can't hear it. Neither of us can hear anything. There we go. There's a handball.
There's a handball.
So a opportunity for the Demons 30, 40 yards out. And so here you float a back post, I guess?
I think so, because I think it's asking a lot to try to put this on frame from there. I mean, the goalie's got a clear line of sight, and unless you can hammer it from this far out, which, again, there's a place for you on the U.S. men's national team if you can do this with any sort of consistency.
Yeah, if he puts a top corner, he can have – that's not a bad attempt, though.
It's not a bad attempt. It's just the goalie can see it, and it's a pretty routine catch.
For most keepers.
For most keepers. That's trouble for Duncan. We've got a break on goal.
Can they get it across? He's just going to play it low, goes to the outside.
That was a great shot.
Was good. I don't know if the keeper was able to – I guess he didn't get his hand on it, but he had the post covered. I was thinking he was going to try to play it over to Connor because Connor was basically unmarked coming on this backside. But,
yeah.
As a keeper, you're hoping that he passes it and messes it up. That's about your only recourse versus a one-on-one with the guy driving in on you.
Right. And he also did a good job of bringing it to the middle. You know, a lot of times we see people flying down the side, and then they don't realize that they've overrun their angle.
I think it was Zach Colbert who was on the outside up front with Connor who tried to put the ball back post. And there's trouble if he can get his foot on it. I guess the defender was able to clear it away.
You know, that guy probably should have just poked it out to the side. He really played with fire there.
Played it into Connor's path,
he played
really.
it into Connor's path, and then he almost had to foul him in the box.
Which, yeah, that would have been unfortunate is what we would say.
Mm-hmm.
So throw in for the Demons. Down 2-0 to the Chargers. They've been down to 2-0 for the vast majority of the game itself. Trying to get back in, having limited opportunity in the box. A lot of what you're seeing now where it's just they've been able to make some penetration towards the outside, but definitely haven't really contested against the keeper too much. All right. Working out some audio issues. We certainly don't want you not to be able to hear us. So, who knows?
Yeah, I mean, that would be devastating.
Yeah, I know. I don't understand. You wouldn't understand a single thing about this game if we weren't talking.
Exactly. And that, again, that's sloppy play by 22. I mean, if Connor goes down, which
that's dangerous.
You know, he's not going to.
No.
His parents did not raise him to LeBron it like that. But if he would have gone down right there, it would have been a PK because that guy spun him around in the box, again trying to overplay him physically instead of playing the ball. And you just wonder, what's going on if that's just some frustration on that player's part. But Connor may get an opportunity to hit a PK.
Yeah, exactly. Well, and you know, when you're playing against people of physical stature like that, I mean, you take me, if I was playing up against number 22, I'd bounce off of him like a rubber ball. You know, and that would end up falling in my favor because the referee would see that the guy knocked me down.
Yeah, he has to be careful because he already looks like he's going to be guilty of the foul even before the play starts.
A couple of years ago in the last championship game that Chargers had, Tevin McDaniel was built the same way. He actually went to play football with the Air Force. And, I mean, people would just bounce off of him, and he would get the foul. He'd just run down the field, and people would try to knock him over, and he'd fall down, and he would get the foul. And it's just part of being a big boy.
Yeah. And that's part of the problem with the refereeing is they have to understand that contact is allowed.
Mm-hmm.
And if it's, if the arms are down, the elbows are down, you can't help the fact that you're a tank, literally, and, people bounce off you.
Well, this would be interesting again. The guy, he's competing for the ball, and the guy falls down. I don't know that I would have called that a foul, but I had a different view than the referee did from this angle because I could see a little bit more of the separation between them.
Well, we've seen worse.
Not a really advantageous angle for Duncan just because they're at a really sharp angle. The goalkeeper can definitely watch that near post. It's that high curling floater like that one.
That didn't miss by much. That was a great attempt.
If that had dipped a little bit more, then that keeper would have been in trouble. So 28 minutes and 33 seconds left in the game. Chargers up 2-0 against Duncan. Scored quite early, so we're just expecting a barrage of Charger goals to come out, and it just hadn't happened. Trying to find Connor Carey up front, and Connor's got a buddy that hangs out with him.
That was almost a calamity for Duncan.
Lots of bodies flying around for this game.
Yes.
So that'll end up being a corner kick for the Chargers. Again, and as in the past, the Chargers have just been able to throw that ball across and make the keeper make a play on it.
And there's no reason to not do that.
So the Chargers are going to come in with 6 people in the box. Duncan in behind the ball. It's like Parker Kay's taking the kick. Good driven ball. That's perfect ball. Back post. Tried to head it back in. Chargers need to get out from behind the defense, though, or they're going to get caught offside. And now it's a counterattack.
Duncan's on the break. A little too heavy, but
momentum's going to get them. You got to be careful because the Chargers can mount their own counterattack. I mean, they've only got 3 people on Connor. And Connor still gets ahead on it. Or I guess that Zach. That's a miss. Ooh, Duncan got lucky there because you don't want to leave the ball at Connor's feet in the box. And now it's a treble. That's going to be a challenge.
That's going to be a problem.
So we're going to see how the referee sorts this one out.
That's going to be lucky for no card because that was a bit professional.
It was. So it looks like the Chargers are going to escape the card on this one, but it's still going to be a free kick. Duncan's going to look. The Chargers are going to set a high line at the 18, or they were. They're starting to give on that a little bit. Keeper's going to have to be ready. I'm not sure that they're going to be a little bit ambitious to try to go from goal.
Yeah, I don't know. That'd be tough. Yeah, that makes more sense. He just needed to put a little more on it.
Defense needs to do a better job of getting it out of the box, though. Keeper's going to come out and smother it.
There you go. That's a good
Good play.
That's a good play by the keeper. But you get a feeling the way this game is going that that's how the goals are going to come. It's just going to be a fracas in front of the goal, and someone's just going to toe poke one in, or it's going to deflect off somebody. And
Yeah.
because nobody's really getting a clean look other than a couple set pieces.
Yep.
There's been no clean looks. It's all been pretty sloppy.
Yeah. I mean, it's all free kicks or balls, bodies colliding in the box as the ball's coming through. Chargers are definitely setting up a line defense here, though, so we'll see if Duncan's able to get through. A lot of bodies in there, though. And Connor's just basically teed up, ready to make a 50-yard run.
Number 17 was, I don't know how he possibly thought he would get enough on that to make it a worthwhile shot on goal. He may be getting frustrated.
I think the frustration level as the clock tick is going to rise. The coach probably gave him a specific set of guidelines to work on, a strategy to work on, and it's just probably not executing. While we have a second, Charger Vision would like to give a thank you to Texadelphia Social Grill, a presenting sponsor of Charger Vision since 2013. Tex-Mex meets Philly cheesesteak, and your taste buds are the winner. Stop by at Lower Bricktown location and make every day a Texadelphia day. Almost something organized there, and then it was just kind of an errant kick. You can see that they are thinking through this. The execution is just not coming together.
Yeah, they're thinking the right thing for sure.
So throw in for the Chargers. Chargers going to try to capitalize early. Deep throw over the center, and I think he stole too many yards on that throw in. I think that's the issue. So we're going to have throw in 2.0. Try this again.
Yeah, he hasn't perfected the art of you walk and you act confused and you look and you walk up a couple more steps.
Turn around. Is somebody else going to take the throw in, or am I going to do it? Okay.
Yeah, there's a way to properly waste time with your throw-ins.
Duncan caught on the same offense as
It's
well.
just really interesting to see what this officiating crew has decided to dig their heels in on. And we've seen two games here, very rigid placement of the ball rulings.
Yep. Well, while you having bodies colliding all over the place.
Yeah, there's mayhem all over the place, but don't push the ball up 5 yards.
Game is taking a little bit of a frantic pace.
Yeah, Duncan's getting ready to have to sell out, which is going to provide some counterattacking opportunities because they need a goal in the next 10 minutes or so probably to make it a realistic game.
Yep, I think you're right, and you can kind of see it in the way that they're playing, that they're starting to think that same thing. So after Duncan, Chargers have to kind of go through the gauntlet when it comes to
this is trouble.
It is trouble. Now can Parker Case finish? Tried to finish with his left foot, couldn't really get anything. It got a little ahead of him.
Well, and I think he heard 6 footsteps because 3 guys were converging on him.
But opportunity for the Chargers.
Yeah.
So the next game, the Chargers after this, they go to face Santa Fe South Saints, and Santa Fe South Saints are no laughing matter. You do not want to face them on a good day, and they are always coming ready to play, and always a strong game. And then they've got Piedmont, who Piedmont has strung together a number of quality teams over the years, and they're definitely in a position right now to be able to get into it as well.
And unlike the girls, there isn't a boys DA, so they'll be at full strength.
Yeah,
all these
exactly.
teams will be at full strength.
Everybody's got the best players, so those will be 2 very, very challenging games. And then they got to go do the Lawton series, and first game will be against Lawton Mac in Lawton, and then the following game will be here for our next Charger Vision game against the Lawton Eisenhower team. So lots of very, very strong games or teams that they got to play for the remaining of the season. So they really have to preserve this win for sure. That's dangerous.
Yeah.
Now he's in the box. You got to be careful. There's bodies there. Quick touch.
It's a good piece of individual skill, but it's 1-on-7.
Mm-hmm. Connor letting the defender know he's there. Starting to get in a little bit into that long ball. I mean, they're just kind of hopeful balls deep and see if you can get into.
That's actually a good. Wow. I'm not totally sure at the point of contact the Duncan player was offsides. We'll take it, but
yeah.
I'm not totally sure about that.
I'm glad you're not calling the game then. Because I'd rather have that offside.
That's right.
Of course, Preston Nelson showing some wheels there too. Feel like that maybe he was going to doing his best Connor Carey impression.
That's right. Well, I think I would be careful to say that what just happened was an offsides trap. I think they just happened to be up because number 22 one-timed that with the outside of his foot to cut in front of Connor and ended up making a fairly spectacular pass in terms of weight and distance.
Yep. So that one will not quite get out of bounds. And it's still inbounds. Now this is trouble.
So that's going to produce a corner. That's some pretty smooth footwork on
so that's some great control and touch on that line there.
Mm-hmm.
So a corner kick for the Demons. I don't know. Is this their first, maybe their second corner kick of the game? I don't know that we've had one yet.
There haven't been a lot.
Lofted ball, good ball, right inside the near post. That's trouble right there.
That
Off
is
the
trouble.
keeper. Keeper was able to find position. Still things going on in the box, and a little bit of a mishit. Chargers put it right in the top. That's a dangerous place.
You don't want that guy shooting clean.
Luckily, you made him shoot with his light foot, and the keeper was able to get a palm on it. That was probably going in that near post out there. So the keeper did a great job of getting his palm on it.
Yeah, you don't want to watch that one, or you might find yourself standing next to Coach Riley or sitting next to Coach Riley.
Exactly. So corner kick for Demons, putting it back in. Lots of bodies in there, and that one shifts.
Boy, number 12 had a clean header, and he just missed the frame.
So the Chargers dodge another bullet there. 17 minutes left in the game. 2-0 Chargers over Duncan. I'm Brian Gordon along with George Crescent. We're on Charger Vision. Always a good time watching soccer. Nothing like high school soccer.
Especially now that it's not 32 degrees anymore.
Well, the good news is we get to be in the booth regardless.
That's true.
So,
that's true.
And, beyond the free Starburst and hot dogs that we get, it's we get to be in the booth. Yeah,
your days of traveling around the state to watch youth soccer over. I, on the other hand, have had the opportunity to freeze in Ponca City and Tulsa and other places.
Every soccer dad has to pay his dues.
That's right. That's right.
In more than one way. So, yes, nothing like a nice Ponca City trip. Or
somehow it completely escaped me after Katarina's game when we were thinking about whether we wanted to stop to eat somewhere and decided that there wasn't any place to eat except for Head Country. How did I forget that Head Country's in Ponca City? So when we return, I will not
That'll
forget.
be top of the list right there.
Yeah, we will be visiting Head Country.
That might just be worth dropping the kids off at the soccer game and then going to Head Country, having lunch, and then
that's right.
Come back for the second half.
That's right.
That's the experience of a Once you've done that for about 10 years, you'll figure that one out.
That's right. Or completely distract the other team with the smell of a rack of ribs on the sideline.
Exactly. Duncan putting some pressure on the Chargers. Chargers have been on in their own defensive third for quite some time now, and so Duncan's really putting the pressure on. I think the Chargers are trying to protect that 2-0 lead, which is dangerous in its own. But Duncan's got some renewed vigor there. That's dangerous if the keeper has to hold on to that one.
Exactly.
The keeper, Nick Patel, has really done a good job, though, today. I think he made a great save on that last shot a little bit earlier. He's been in the right position. He's been strong when he needed to.
Well, he's been brave when he's needed to. He's, in the first few minutes, he about got run over, and he had the presence of mind to collect the ball and get out of the way of the incoming contact, which I guarantee was not going to be pleasant.
So Chargers definitely banking on counterattack capabilities now, but Duncan's just really going to try to get over the back of that line. All sorts of bodies falling all over everybody. Well, and if the way the ref's calling things, you never know when that's going to work. We'll see what happens here. I think maybe the referee was concerned about the safety of a player. Wasn't sure if he was bleeding or maybe just make sure he did get a concussion of sort or a head injury of some sort. Ball going back into play. Nick will hold on to that one. Again, looking for Connor Carey deep. And that's going to be trouble right there. Can he get it on frame here?
Goal.
Yep, there it is. And there's Connor Carey. 3-0 Chargers. And, there's not much you can do because you just can't keep up with him.
No, he's got good anticipation. His teammates know that they have to just put it in that space, and he's going to run onto it. And if he's got a step on you, then he's got 10 steps on you.
Yeah.
And he's composed, right?
Yep.
So he's very composed and finishes it in the far corner.
And some people might say, okay, so defend that by planting a guy 5 yards behind him. But then you don't want to give him the opportunity to gain momentum. He'll just go right by you.
Yeah.
Because he just has to touch the ball past you and then run on it.
Yeah, your only defense there is you have to be in the lane. You have to disrupt the pass because you can't do anything about him finding himself open and going to the space, and you can't do anything about the fact that he's fast. So what you need to do is just disrupt the passing lanes. But his teammates know it. After playing for so long, they know, just like some quarterbacks know that if you've got a good wide receiver, what you do is you throw it somewhere in that area code.
Mm-hmm.
Like Baker Mayfield's going to find it next year. He's got two guys that if he just throws it in the area code, they're going to catch it.
Right.
So when you're playing with Connor, you just pass the ball to the area code, and he's going to get to it.
Yep. Opportunity for the Demons, and it just goes wide. Another one of those long throws that seems to just be a continued weapon for both teams. Maybe it's just stronger, younger kids out there. But now it might as well be a corner kick or a kick from the sideline.
Yeah, if I tried to arch my back and throw a ball like that, I would be in traction. So it's definitely –
I would not recommend it. Yeah, I think we stay away from that aspect of the game. That's why you play indoor, so you don't have to throw it in.
That's right, exactly.
Again, an unsuspecting defender, not knowing how quick Connor is, and you're giving him an opportunity to get involved in the play.
Yeah, with that much space, he can run over to the other side of the field, get the ball, and still come back and be on goal before you even realize what's going on.
We're going to have to decide a player of the game, so we'll have to start thinking about what that is. But
it's hard to argue.
Something's going on here. The keeper is all the way out from, so there must have been a I don't know what's going on. Referee's talking about an elbow. Maybe there was a red card? Lots of discussion now.
Yeah, there was obviously an elbow that someone took offense to. I'll tell you what I don't like, though, and this is something that probably kids get from watching games on TV too, is you don't need high school kids surrounding the ref. There's no place for that. If the coach wants to talk, that's one thing.
Right.
But there's no place for the high school kids to come out.
So the coach, somebody on the sideline is still giving the referee an earful.
Well, he's just – it's a combination of feeling hard done by and just sick because 3 busted plays have equaled 3 goals.
Right.
I mean, it's one thing to be losing 3-0 and to have gotten your goal peppered with 14, 15 shots. It's another thing to have 5 shots and 3 are in the back of the net.
So, yeah, it looks like there was a red card for an elbow. So the Demons not only being down 3-0 with 12 minutes left in the game, they are playing a man down. Or no, they're full. My bad. I didn't see a glare of a kid.
I don't know what the resolution was to this whole situation. You would have thought there was complete pandemonium and rioting in the streets.
Well,
there seems to have been nothing.
The Duncan keeper came all the way past half line, so I'm looking for a fist fight of some sort or a pushing of some sort and red card or something and to draw that kind of attention and nothing happened.
And I have to tell you, I don't think it would be a bad idea if you're the ref and the opposing goalie comes all the way across midfield to yell at you and he's 15, 16, 17 years old. I'd just card him.
Yeah.
I mean, I wouldn't listen to any of that for any reason.
That doesn't need to be happening.
No, and you don't need to set a precedent where it's okay to do that.
So the Demons seeing if they can get back in the game, but it's going to be a challenge being down 3-0 with 10 minutes left in the game itself. And there's just going to be some bodies throwing around at this point.
There's going to be frustration.
Yeah, so the referee's going to have to be careful about this one. Some good sportsmanship of helping him up, but I'm not sure that he's still shaking it off. It's Robert. Wow, that was a great draw. Wow,
that's
see,
unbelievable.
and you wonder why they haven't been doing that the entire game.
Yeah.
That was an incredible goal from 40 yards out.
Yeah, that was what, a one-hopper maybe?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that was – the goalkeeper had no chance. And it sounds odd to think that you shoot from that far out, the goalkeeper had no chance, but he had no chance.
Yeah, he had no chance. I mean, because even coming through the crowd like it did, I mean, the keeper's the reaction, figure out what the swerve on that is, and that is going to give the Demons some renewed life. And again, they're pressuring referee, letting things play a little bit more. But 3-1, Duncan on the board, and I mean, again, if you've got somebody you can fire it like that, why has he not been doing that every friggin' time?
Yeah, it's amazing. I don't know. And this could be trouble because the flag is down. But the goalie, once again, I'll tell you, that looks routine, but the way this game has been going, the temperature of this game, coming out like that as the keeper, you have to be thinking you might take a cleat across the face.
Well, as many bodies have been falling around, yeah, absolutely. You're taking your life in your own hands coming out into a crowd like that as well. And you've got to be, to some level, fearless when you're a keeper. I mean, just because that's what the duty calls.
Well, if he hesitates, then that guy
that's
just
even more
chips it
dangerous,
in.
yeah. So 3-1, Chargers still up on the Demons. Demons able to get on the board and claw a little bit back in. They still have a couple of goals they've got to make up, but another foul, just bodies clotting into each other and starting to get really, really physical for this team. I know Coach Riley's watching him, just making sure that things don't get out of hand. The referee's got to make sure they play that same game. Deep ball into the box. Boy, Duncan, careful playing that ball back into the center.
Yeah.
And Connor was not far off to be able to play. And there's Parker Kays. He's gonna give him his own shot, and that comes off a Duncan player, so that'll be a throw in for Duncan. I mean for Chargers. Duncan's gonna help get the ball to the spot.
So Coach Riley might be giving a lesson here. He's simultaneously rewarding and maybe teaching a lesson to number 11, Robert Boersma, who's clearly still shaken up from that clattering he took. But Coach Riley instilling some faith in him and having him just kind of shake it off and stick it out and keep playing. As a freshman midfielder, that's pretty impressive.
Yeah, absolutely. And, you know, he wants to get everybody minutes because that's how you make your team better. And, you know, Robert's going to be the future of this team as he goes through his high school experience.
Yeah.
Let me give a shout out to amazing sponsor Energy FC Soccer. Kick it with the city's best soccer team. Single game and season tickets are available at 235-KICK or online at energyfc.com. We got about 7.5 minutes left in the game itself. Chargers up 3-1. Throw in for the Demons. So at this point, the Demons really do just have to get back on the board again, see if they can get one more goal, make it an interesting game. And you got a guy who, number 17.
Rafael Carrasco.
Yeah, I mean, the way he nailed that first shot, I'd be getting it to his foot every single time. Heck, I mean, I'd almost do a couple of LeBroning in the middle of the field just to see if you can give him a free kick opportunity.
Absolutely.
Doesn't have to be even near the box.
He apparently is open from just inside
Portland.
Exactly. Yeah, seriously. As soon as he gets on campus, he's open.
Yeah, that was you may have to get his number for defib.
That's right. That's right. We'll arrange a Uber from Duncan.
So 6 minutes, 10 seconds left. The Chargers are just going to play some tough defense here.
Just a little bit unlucky on that pass, but that was a great pass. Unfortunately, not everybody on the Duncan team is thinking in line with Carrasco, because if that player is cutting in, he's pretty much set him up at the far post for an easy goal.
Yep, and you find that especially in the high school level, you got some. I mean, I would just from what I've seen, you'd have to say that Carrasco is a fairly high level player.
Yeah,
right?
he's an elite high school player for sure.
And so, you know, the things he sees on the field, not everybody else is going to see on the field, and it's hard to translate that to people who aren't used to playing soccer every day of their life.
Yeah. Yeah, the two number 17s are definitely difference makers.
Yep. So it looks like Zach Colbert came off. Duncan trying to put something organized together. So I think Carrasco's I think he's starting to wear down. He's playing in the back a little bit more, just letting the rest of the team kind of direct.
Or he's just deciding that since he's open from there, he'll just
he'll wait for a free ball. This could be trouble if he can get control and get back into the box. And that was a good clear there. The Chargers still setting up their defense. Can they find an out?
Now, why number 7 for Duncan? Alex Barrientos, why he didn't just pull the trigger on that, I have no idea. He tried to make that one extra little cut in, but he actually had a left-footed shot if he wanted it.
And that may be the trick, is that a lot of these kids aren't really confident on their left foot. They and so they feel like they have to get it back onto their comfortable right and be able to get anything on it. So throw in for the Chargers.
With some expert time wasting.
Well done. I think that may have been well coached from the sideline by Coach Riley.
Third guy on the ball actually takes the throw in. That's a very nice touch.
Uh-huh. They practice that. Free kick. Keeper able to come back out and scoop that one out, so he's got time to bring it up to the top.
Now, you would think as a junior, Nick would know to accidentally bobble that, which would force him to fall on it on the ground and take about 20 seconds off the clock.
Right, exactly. Or try to play with it on his feet and then wait for somebody to come in and challenge him.
Exactly.
You know, yeah. But he'll learn with time.
That's right.
Duncan trying to find something. They're going to have to get on the board here, maybe just to make it a reasonable game. But letting 2 goals in the first couple of minutes, it's just hard to come back from that.
And with all that pressure they had put on in the second half, to watch it blow up on a quick strike from Connor Carey, just a simple through ball, foot race, far post, 3-0. That was hugely deflating. I mean, as great as the goal was that they got back, I think once it got to 3-0, they had to know that it was going to be a problem. And there he is firing, and that wasn't a half bad shot.
No,
that was from
not bad.
That was from outer space.
And that's a moving ball too. At that, I mean, that's not a free kick.
Yeah, I mean, he
on a
caught
still
that
ball.
exactly.
So, and made it a very respectable shot. So he's not afraid to shoot from distance, and that's the kind of player that scares the heck out of you if you're opposing him.
Yeah.
Because you know he can turn the tide of the game. Or if it's a close game, 1-0 game, you can't let a ball hit his feet.
Exactly.
So it looks like the Chargers will come out with the win on this one before they have to go.
And it might be.
It may just be a little bit more than a simple win. If he can get around it, and that one just goes wide, pulled his hips.
And hopefully he didn't just pull a muscle.
Yeah. That may, a little bit of hobbling there. I think he'll be able to walk that off. So the Chargers 2-0 in district will next face Santa Fe South for their third district game. Santa Fe South is going to be a giant test for them away. So it ought to be a fun game if you can make it out. I think that's one you definitely want to see. Because Santa Fe is always an impressive team.
Yeah.
So Chargers making their run for the playoffs. I think certainly have the opportunity, but they're going to have to really have some good games here in the next couple of weeks in order to solidify their chance to get into the playoffs.
I don't think you want to bank on a 2-goal ambush in the first 5 minutes as your strategy for every game. You'll take it, but...
Yeah, it's not a good game plan long term. So that will wrap it up for the Chargers in this game. Duncan Demons 1, the Heritage Hall Chargers 3. The Chargers come out with the victory, and then got to be careful and don't want to give them something in the last 7 seconds of the game.
No, that's it.
And that will do it, folks. Chargers win 3-1 over Duncan Demons. Stay with us. We'll get the player of the game up and have a conversation with him.
Since 2014, our fans have been the backbone of the club. Fans keep supporting us on the field, in the community, and are the driving force of our success. Our fans create an exciting atmosphere that drives charisma, excellence, and passion. Energy fans, we thank you and welcome you to year number 5.
We're changing healthcare and our name. Now we are SSM Health St. Anthony. But who we are on the inside is still the same. A community of saints in action who have always been a part of SSM Health. making healthcare more accessible when and where you need it. SSM Health St. Anthony. We are Saints in Action.
And welcome back to Heritage Hall Charger Vision. I'm Brian Gordon along with George Crescent. And Heritage Hall boys are victorious 3-1 over the Duncan Demons. Heritage Hall boys came out and really just set the tone early for the game, and really gave themselves enough cushion to be able to just kind of play the game they wanted.
Yeah, I mean, ruthlessness, I would say, was the key, because the mistakes Duncan made in the first 5 minutes, they paid in goals. And that's unusual to see really at the high school level. You see it oftentimes in the English Premier League or La Liga or some of the professional leagues. But, sometimes that's how the game unfolds. So you jump out to a 2-0 lead. It puts an incredible amount of pressure on the other team, who at the time looked like they were going to be okay.
A strong force, yeah.
Absolutely.
Yep. First goal was by Preston Nelson off a corner kick, and then the second goal came off of Connor Carey. And Connor was able just to get in there and challenge the ball, and keeper dropped it and was able to kick it in and got his first goal of the game, second goal of the overall game for the team. So I think when it came down to player of the game, Connor was our easy choice for player of the game, and he's come up to join us, and I will pass over my headset for him. Well done. Yeah, show him the replays.
So the first goal was kind of a clattering, and then the second one is kind of something we saw early on in the game where the goalkeeper for Duncan, his hands weren't totally sure, and you guys did a great job of putting pressure on him. And then obviously the second goal, if they get it running here, is just a flat-out foot race, which while they're working on that, first let me congratulate you on the Air Force Academy.
Thank you.
Second of all, I'm not going to tell you what your mom wanted me to say on there about you. I'm going to save that for later in the season. But last time I got to guest host, you scored 3 goals. You scored 2 tonight. Similar themes in that if you get a little space, you're gone, and that must be a nice feeling to break away like that.
Oh yeah, it's definitely. And when you get a beautiful ball in like that, it makes it a lot easier.
So we were talking about this today, kind of similarities. You've played with these guys a long time. It's sort of like quarterbacks and wide receivers, right? If you know your receiver is going to catch something anywhere in the general vicinity, then you have confidence to throw it there. And it looks like these guys have confidence in you where they'll just spray you a pass and they feel confident that you're going to run onto it.
Yeah, it's something into space and, using our athleticism against people.
Yeah, so speaking of athleticism, that battle you had with number 22 was interesting to watch all night. That looked like that could transcend multiple sports. It looks like you guys could meet on the football field, on the soccer field, and elsewhere. He gave it a good go. It looked like their strategy after a while was to try to box you in with him and one other player. Did you sense any of that?
Yeah, towards the end of the first half was when we noticed that he started playing me man and just trying to bully me. I mean, it worked at first, but Coach Riley at halftime was telling me to take him to the other side of the field, and it ended up working. Yeah,
and we were talking about that too, sort of, and I don't know if you guys had talked about it or what, but, on the breakaway, it looked like you finally started dropping back a little bit to maybe not so much get lost, but just to lose yourself a little bit to where you're not such a stationary figure, and then that would enable you to have more space to run onto a ball like that.
Mm-hmm. Yep, we were just sucking them in so we could go in behind.
So, anyways, it was an outstanding effort. It was great to watch. It's always nice to pounce on people 2-0 in the first 5 minutes. But you guys got a tough stretch coming up. You got any thoughts about the next handful of games? You got some pretty stiff opposition.
Like our district last year, as you know, it was a pretty tight district the whole way, so we're expecting the same thing this year. So, we just got to go hard in practice and work hard in the games, outwork them.
All right, well, it's great to be the number one football player in your family, but when you're the second best soccer player in your family, you got to have something to work on, right?
Yep.
So, just kidding. That was a great game. Thanks for coming up and chatting with us.
Thank you, guys.
All right.
Is that what she told you to say?
No.
And that'll wrap it up for us at Charger Vision. Thanks to the Charger Vision crew for putting the show on, and of course, thanks to my partner George Crescent for carrying the load tonight on the commentary. Hope everybody has a great evening. Make sure you guys tune in again. We are back on April 15th against Lawton Icon. So should be a fun one. Have a great evening. We'll see you on the pitch.